Hello, friends. It's your old pal Jerry V, and this is another installment of the Tales from the Stacks. We've been reading together Ruby on the Outside, and this is written by Nora Raleigh Baskins, and the publisher would be Simon Schuster, and it's Books for Young Readers. And we'd like to thank them for allowing us to read this to you folks during this time. So thank you very much. Moving on. So what we have going on in the book, if you guys haven't had a chance to go and read it or hear some of the past stories, take some time, go back and catch up with us. It's kind of been a really cool adventure that we've been on with our friend Ruby. She's been through a lot in her little bit of life. So she's a young girl, moving on her way between middle school and elementary. So she's just growing up. She's got a lot of things going on. So if you're interested in finding out some of the backstory, please take some time and go back and check out those other ones. For those of us who have been together with us, we're going to continue on. We are on chapter 15, and we'll just get started. Here we go. Ready? While they thought I was sleeping, my mother and Nick Sands drove 18.5 miles away to a drugstore. There's this video of the entire 2 minutes and 42-second exchange between the Nick and the boy behind the pharmacy counter. So there really wasn't much for the defense attorney to argue. According to the Saratoga Daily Gazette and the district attorney of Saratoga County, Nicholas Sands, age 26, and Janice Sands, age 23, walked into the CVS on Congress Street in Glen Falls, New York. They wandered the cosmetic aisle for a while. Miss Sands picked up some shampoo. Then they proceeded to the back of the store and approached the teenager working as a clerk in the pharmacy that night. There was a heated discussion, and at some point turns aggressive on the part of Mr. Sands. In the video, Mrs. Sands stands somewhat behind her husband, but does not appear to be in distress, nor does she appear to be particularly unwilling. At some point during the argument, which became increasingly more heated, Mr. Sands pulled a gun from his pocket and shot the CVS employee. He then fled the scene. Miss Sands is seen in the video climbing over the counter, where she remained on the floor beside the victim until the police arrived. There's more. Nick Sands, who had several previous drug offenses, was charged with a second-degree murder, but was able to reduce his sentence from life behind bars to 8 to 10 by giving the district attorney information that led to the arrest of a well-known local drug dealer. Janice Sands was sentenced to 20 to 25 years in a maximum security prison. The computer screen is the only light on in my room. It's like a beacon, but it doesn't lead me to safety. It threatens to take it all away. I don't want to find out. What I know, I will find out if I keep searching. But click after click, link after link, I keep searching. There's a newspaper article. There are newspaper articles, police reports, court documents, all online. There are several follow-up stories, everything from gun control to spouse abuse. It seems to be significant that the defense, Janice Sands, had no knowledge or prior gun charges prior to the incident. However, she was an accessory to robbery and an accomplice to murder. The boy behind the counter that died on his way to the hospital, he was 17 years old. His name was Joshua Allen Tips. Chapter 17. After I figured out that my mother wasn't coming home with us, I still wanted to be able to at least call my mother whenever something bad happened to me. Not even something bad, just a little bad. Like someone at school hurt my feelings, or I was scared that I would never learn my times tables, or I had a stomach ache, which usually came from one of the two other things. And I wanted to tell my mommy. I could always tell Matu, but it wasn't the same. For one thing, Matu usually told me to let it go. And for another, she wasn't my mom. But there was a phone right there, and I stood in the kitchen in my pajamas and bare feet. I see the phone is right there, Matu told me, sitting at the breakfast table eating her cottage cheese and berries. She took off her glasses and rubbed her eyes. I was probably in second or third grade. No, what am I saying? It was second grade. I remember exactly because my supposed best friend in the neighborhood, Kristen, hadn't invited me to her after school birthday party. I found out only because one girl in my class made the mistake of telling me and asking me if I was going. Of course, back then, I hadn't yet perfected the skill of how to hide important things from the outside world, and I just started to cry, right then and there, in the middle of free reading time. Miss Chomsky sent me to the office. The guidance lady wanted to know if my emotional state had anything to do with my quote unquote situation at home. And I had no idea what she was talking about, since I didn't yet understand that I had a situation at home. I just had a home with Matu and Mom at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. I didn't really understand yet that it wasn't normal. I was still upset when I got back home that day, and there was a phone. And I wanted to call my mother and tell her about it. I wanted to ask her why my friend hadn't invited me to her birthday party, and why I got sent to the office for crying in class, when Lucille Ramirez does that practically every single day. And Jody Bronson had not said one word out loud all year. And Donald Hancock kicks everyone under the table, and everyone knows it's him. So why me? Why? 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 There's something only a mommy can fix. I know just hearing her voice would fix it. I know she would say the right thing and tell me that it was okay, or that it was going to be okay, and I would believe her. And would, and everything would start to be okay. Ruby, you know you can't call your mother, Matu told me. You know it doesn't work that way. She has to call us. Us? I don't want her to call us. I want her to call me. Me, right now. I need my mother, right now. But I also knew Matu was right. And not only that, but my mother had to call collect, which means someone had to be home to pick up the phone, to hear the mechanical recording on the other end say, "You are receiving a collect call from Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for Women. Do you want to accept the charges?" Matu tells me it is very expensive, but the worst part of it is how they cut you off. It doesn't matter if you're right in the middle of talking or singing or telling a story. The recording comes back on, interrupts you, and warns you you have 1 minute remaining. The recording is like a nightmare in my head, like a horrible, bodiless, faceless voice monster. After that minute, the phone goes dead. Mommy? Mommy? Are you there? Mommy? What it is, you need to, what it, What is it that you need to talk to your mom about, Ruby? About school today. About Kristen's birthday party, Matthew asked me. She knew. The school had called her. I took care of it, Matthew says, before she put her glasses back on. I hope she didn't see my mortified expression. You're going to the party, so get ready. You're going to meet everyone at the bowling alley in 10 minutes. Matthew was smiling. But I thought I was going to die. I knew I couldn't call my mother, but I wanted to so badly right then. I wanted to so badly. And I thought maybe my wanting could be so strong that it could make it happen. If only I deserved it more. Never got into trouble, never did anything wrong, never cried at school. If only I did those things, my mother would have somehow just known I needed her. And she'd magically be calling right at this very minute. Please call mommy. Please call me. Please call me right now. Because if I was good enough, she'd know. By the way, I never saw Rebecca again. Just a few weeks ago, I found out Rebecca ran away from her foster home. I overheard one of the other visitors saying she heard that Rebecca was in juvie now. I get it. You can't run. You can run, but you can't hide. And no matter what you do, and nobody knows that better than I do now. I thought I was hiding, but I wasn't. Or I was, but I can't any longer. Josh Tips is Margaret's brother. I'm sick. I'm so sick. I'm really so sick to my stomach, and I have been all night. I didn't shut down my computer until after midnight, and then I didn't think that I'd ever fall completely asleep. So I probably looked pretty bad, which is good. I knew Matthew was just going to go to work and leave me alone. When she calls upstairs, I tell her I'm not feeling well. There's no way I can go to camp today. No way. I feel like I'm drowning. I've never felt so alone before. I'm drowning, and there's no one who can save me. I just need time to think. I need time to think. It takes a lot of convincing, but Matthew is running late, and it's summer. So missing camp is not like missing school. And finally, she leaves. It's just me and Lulu now. Lulu, what can I do? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve anything. It's so not fair. I can't tell Margaret, ever. She can never find out. Lulu looks at me, but she doesn't have any solutions either. I rack my brain. I consider every possibility for how to live with this terrible truth and not lose my very first, very best friend. For this for a crazy second, I wanted to call my mom, which of course I knew I couldn't do, like I used to when I was little. I wanted her to put her arms around me and make everything all right, or at least tell me that's what to do. And then I realized my mother couldn't fix anything because she's the one who broke it. Well, Miss Ruby's going through a lot right now, huh, everybody? So, she's, this is, I don't know, we're about 2/3 through the book, so we have a little bit left. I'm excited to see what happens to Ruby and how she figures out this part of her life because she's a young lady trying to figure it out. So I'm excited to hear. I'm excited to continue reading, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. So, like you said, if you want to find out what happened before, please go back check out those other recordings. And as always, keep in tune for my friends here at the Lucero Library, for Miss Jessica and Miss Britt for their stuff online, so you guys can catch some of their cool stuff too. So for your friend Jerry V, and this is Tales from the Stacks, I like to say goodbye, peace out, bye.